Co-browsing versus screen sharing. This is Alberto from Fullview, and today I want to talk to you about the difference between these two technologies and help you understand which one might be a better fit for your use case. Let's start with the difference number one. What's the technology behind? In co-browsing, you're streaming code. You're not streaming pixels. So in screen sharing, you're streaming pixels, meaning you're just streaming the whole video from the other user. Whereas in co-browsing, you're basically rebuilding the page in real time, which is a completely different way of showing the other person's screen. They work in a very different way, so even if the final result might look similar, how they actually work is completely different. Which leads us to point number two. What happens to performance? Which one is using more data? Unlike what a lot of people think, actually streaming code is a more lightweight method of transferring data compared to streaming pixels. So actually, co-browsing is the solution that offers better performance. Of course, in a lot of cases and in normal scenarios, both technologies work just fine, but actually you do have a performance advantage when it comes to co-browsing. Let's move to difference number three, privacy and compliance. In screen sharing, there is basically no option to hide sensitive data. In co-browsing, you can do that. So solutions like Fullview automatically blur out or censor sensitive information. That could be email addresses, phone numbers, credit card numbers, all of that stuff. And also allow for customizable controls. So you can actually decide what you want to blur out. For the end user, that can be very important in terms of privacy, but there is also compliance aspect. So in a lot of industries, you may not be allowed to share your screen if there is sensitive data there. So co-browsing solutions solve that problem for you, often in an automated way. Difference number four, interactivity. By nature, co-browsing offers a more collaborative experience where you are able to basically interact in a multiplayer mode, which means both parties can click on element. If you're the person initiating a co-browsing call, you can draw on the other person's screen, submit forms, scroll on the page, and all of that. In screen sharing, that's almost never possible. With Slack, you can draw on the other person's screen, but that's still very limited. There's no more interactivity. And with normal tools like Zoom or Google Meet or all of the other video conference platforms you may know, that's just screen sharing. You see the screen and that's it. So with co-browsing, you actually have the opportunity to collaborate with the other user, which can be absolutely crucial when it comes to software interfaces, scenarios where you might want to point at specific elements on the user screen and guide them, all of that. So that's a very crucial difference. And number five, it all comes down to different use cases. So in a one-to-many presentation, where you're basically moving one way, you have one presenter trying to communicate with a large group of people. Screen sharing might work just fine. Things are different when your use case requires a more collaborative approach from both sides, where you really need to guide your users, or when taking over might be needed. We'll also talk about the difference between co-browsing and remote desktop control, because that's also a very crucial difference when evaluating what tools to use, but we'll save that for our next video. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for listening, and make sure to check out our other content on co-browsing and collaboration tools. Bye.